Have you ever stood in the darkness of night, screaming silently you're a man? Have you ever hoped that a time would come when your voice could be heard in a noonday sun? Have you waited so long till your unheard song has stripped away your very soul? Well then believe it, my friend, that this silence can end. We'll just have to get guns and be men.
Grandpa, tell me a story.
You know, baby girl, it was the summer of 1979, I believe. I was there at the Bucket of Blood, the barbecue bar. I was ordering me some ribs and hot wings. Amen. Some yams and collard greens for me and my kids. I decided to have a drink and I sat there for some time reminiscing over days gone by, in visions too far to see. It seemed that I was always daydreaming, dreams of another reality of life. I knew this wasn't it. I was caught up in my mind between destiny and despair. So I stepped outside in the breeze. It was a hot, but it was a nice breeze that comes off the ocean from Los Angeles. And all of a sudden I saw two police cars pull up. You know, I still get the jitters, but I'm clean. I'm not wanted for anything. They jumped out the car, and Canali was the first one I see. He runs inside and pushes me aside with his crazy self and proceeds inside the bar. I continue to smoke my cigarette. Then all of a sudden I heard a scream. It was a voice very familiar. I ran inside and looked, and oh my God, they had this young lady who I knew very well. I used to go with her older sister, and she was there in full humiliation, with her breast showing and her shirt ripped open. The police had accosted her, and they looked like the cat that swallowed the canary. I said, "What are you doing?" And one cop pushed a billy club at me and said, "Mind your own business." Immediately I kicked him in the head and went down. I did a double clutch to Canali, 1, 2. Canali went down. I turned and grabbed the other one up under the crotch and picked him up and dropped his head into the brass rail. Blood began streaming from the top of his head all the way to his chin. My partner Omar ran over to help me and he said, "Listen, man, you gotta stop." The police, they're coming in with guns and dogs. I looked around and saw police laying on the ground, and I said to myself, well, I can do a year in the county jail for this. As I pushed the young lady out the back door, she ran and left her shoe. The newspaper read the next day, "Cinderella girl still missing." They still today don't know who that young lady was. I remember the pain as they hit me. My hands were hurting. I remember going out, and the next thing I know, I woke up in the county jail in a pool of blood. I could hear an officer yelling, "What the hell is he doing here? If you don't get him to the hospital." I went out again. And I remember waking up in the ambulance and going out again. And the police and the doctor were arguing the next time I awoke. The police was trying to take me back to jail. I looked at one of my hands that had a cast on it. And the doctor was saying we have to do surgery on the other hand. I went out again. I woke up 7 days later in the hospital unit of the county jail. I do not regret what I did that day, because as one of my daughters always says, not on my watch, not in my community. I remember it like it was yesterday. I do not regret anything that happened that day. We must stand up and be men. I remember Lane Brown of the Black Panther Party had a song, and it said, "Have you ever stood in the darkness of night, screaming silently you're a man? Have you ever thought that the day would come, that you must stand up in the noonday sun? Well, remember, my friend, that the silence must end. We just got to
get guns and be men. Has a cry to live when your brain is dead, made your body tremble.